outside my place. Don't take it from the TV. It only shows the ugly side of my face. Take it from the side. Take it from the side. He was taken from the side. He was taken from the side. He was taken from the side.
OMC.
He was taken from the side.
Mark Hunt.
He was taken from the side.
Ruben Wiki.
He was taken from the side.
Philip Wimana.
He was taken from the side.
Don Ray.
I know you know where I live. I know you know outside my place. Don't take it off the TV. It only shows the ugly side of my face. Take it from the side.
Kia ora koutou katoa. Hey, welcome everyone. My name is Terry. I am the new Pathways Development Advisor. First time I've got that right, actually. But basically, that's a transition person to help the kids transition out of school. Because, when you leave school, you're still trying to figure out stuff, and I want to be the person to help them cement, a couple of options and help them push them into the right direction they want to go. Hey, today we have an awesome couple on today to talk about the experience and what they've been up to in the last few years since leaving school. They are TC alumni hard. One of them's a board of trustee member, so he's really involved with our school. But let's welcome Joe and Marie. Everyone say hey.
Hey everyone.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, kia ora man, I'm Taueva. My name is Joe, and Joe Fealoai, and this is Marie. She'll go ahead and introduce herself very soon. First and foremost, just thanking the Lord and thanking God for this opportunity, Matua, allowing us to be able to speak. And if we can, share something as well for our future leaders coming out of Tangaroa College, our beautiful school of Tangaroa College in the heart of Otara. If we can share a little bit of wisdom and in terms of our experiences right now since we've left Tangaroa College in our respective years, it will be great, and we're very grateful as well for the opportunity to be on here and speak directly to you guys, to our brothers and sisters back in TC right now. Just a little introduction in relation to who I am. I'm born and bred Otara, lived majority of my childhood and a lot of my life in Otara. We're based out in Wattle Downs now in Manurewa, so we're a bit out of the hood at the moment. But my heart is always in our beautiful place of Otara. Came through the line of schools. Started off at Mayfield Primary School, went up to Dawson Primary School just next door to us at TC, went down Dawson Road to Ferguson Intermediate, and then with Tangaroa College. So I definitely came through the Conway belt over in Otara in terms of my schooling. After Tangaroa College, I finished up in class of 09. So in 2009, I finished up at TC. Went and ventured into legal studies and law studies at Auckland University. Did that for 4 years, and it was at that time the sort of family was in that kind of process and all of like, okay, look, is this the right pathway for me? And my family was in need of assistance as well of me sort of getting into a career and begin to work. So found out that it wasn't something for me, and I went into work a bit, and by default I was working in government. Spent 6 years in government. Started from working income social welfare, and I moved my way up into prosecutions and legal, just utilizing a bit of my study at Auckland Uni.
Sorry. Yeah, you've already answered all the questions, so we'll hold off.
Spending 6 years there. That's our interview for today now. I wish she's all the very best. Did a lot since high school in terms of government work and all, and then even then, I didn't feel that was my pathway. And we'll speak a bit more about pathways moving forward, so you guys can understand in terms of how we thought our paths were sort of laid out. But then after government work, I sort of got into real estate and been running a real estate business for the last 5 years now. and 4 years going on to 5 years at the moment. So that's me in a nutshell, in a big ass nutshell. And I'll pass it over to Marie now so she can introduce herself.
Hey, Marie.
Thank you so much, Matua, for having us on. Hi, everyone. I'm Marie Taueva. I was born in Samoa, so very proud Samoan girl. Moved here in 2010. Was at TC from 2011 to 2013. So yeah, currently working with this guy in real estate. So that's a bit about me, and looking forward to this podcast.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can share some tips on here for our TC students. They can take and do whatever they want with it.
Yeah, that's awesome to know that you came from Samoa, because there are a lot of kids coming from Samoa to Tangaroa. Like I've seen over the years, and maybe you can share about your experience coming from Samoa soon, and what that transition was like, and what it feels like to be in New Zealand and the opportunities that you get. But hey, before we get into that, I'll do some quick fire questions. I know Joe's already answered most of these. We'll do it again just to slow it down. We'll start with. So I know you went to primary school, Joe.
Yeah. I went Dawson Primary and Mayfield Primary, both in Otago. Yeah.
Marie.
I went to primary school in Samoa called Whalefitu Primary School. It's in Whatoia, so a few minutes away from town, RPM.
Oh, awesome. Intermediate?
Ferguson, for me.
Cool.
We don't have intermediate in Samoa, so we go straight from preschool to primary school. So primary school in Samoa is from year 1 to year 8.
And then straight into college after that?
Straight into college, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
Straight from AUC to long notifications, bro.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are so onto it, man. Just 2 schools. Instead of us, like 3 schools, 4 schools. Hey, so Marie, we know you're Samoan. How about yourself, Joe?
Yep, Samoan as well, but born here in New Zealand, obviously. So, yeah.
Cool.
Hardcore Samoan.
What's that, sir?
Oh, hardcore Samoan, yeah.
Yeah. All types.
So we both speak 2 languages as well. So it's like come to TC, come school, and it's like Kiwi, and then go home, and it's Samoan because we don't speak Samoan at home. So that's the same Maria as well.
Yeah. And that's a good skill set to have for the kids here, speaking 2 languages, like even if
Absolutely.
it's like in any industry, if you can speak a second language, that actually puts you above some other people that can't speak.
Yeah.
And just thankfully just thankfully as well because we attended TC. Our third unofficial language is Māori as well, Te Reo Māori. Speak up, you learn a lot of Māori in Te Reo Māori and TC.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Favorite subject at school?
Oh, a few teachers are gonna freaking.
I have to say accounting and business studies.
Oh, yeah.
I only discovered business studies in year 13. I think 2013 was the first year Tangaroa College ever participated in the Young Enterprise Scheme program. I think that was like that opened the door for me to see a whole new world of opportunities in the business area, business sector. So that I have to say that those are my favorite subjects.
Cool. So I've got a lifeline here, so I can name a few subjects. So not a particular one. So favorite subject back in TC was English, calculus. Of course, Mr. Naidu. I loved my years with Mr. Naidu in calculus. History as well with Ms. Pili, Christine Pili, and Mr. Erickson, who's no longer with us at TC also. So I loved history, social studies as well. Enjoyed those subjects back at school. And Yeah, and obviously PE, bro.
Who?
And obviously PE.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Naidu's still here, still going hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the English department, they keep changing, but Mr. Riley's still here as well. Favorite teacher before we get into our questions, eh? Favorite teacher?
I have to say Miss Nash. Miss Nash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She was there when I was here. So that's like 17 years ago. Maybe 18 years ago. So that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yourself, Joe?
Mr. Naidu, even now, he plays a big part in my life in terms of lessons, even moving forward at this stage. So, yeah, he's still teaching me even 10 years after high school.
And it's classic line, eh? You fool. No,
Why are you not too much stories, boy?
Everyone still loves that guy. Eh? Like he's always been consistent all the way through. Still the same. He's the man, Mr. Naidu. Yeah. That's cool. We'll get into our first question, eh? Maybe we'll have a look at the comments from Mr. Marshy. Beautiful couple. This couple, yes, you are. And the lights.
Thanks, Mashi.
Thanks, Mashi.
Okay, we'll get into this first. So we'll start with Marie. Tell us about your experience at TC. How was it like for you, especially coming from Samoa? That would have been full on Samoa over there, and then coming to a New Zealand Kiwi school. What was that experience like?
I have to say, for my first year, it was not difficult. It was weird because back at home and school, kids had been disciplined to complete their assessments, and we got to do it. There's no excuses of why we didn't do our homework. So that whole strict environment, and then coming to New Zealand where that the expectation, I guess, is more laid back. And I saw that in my first year. I was like, oh, that's gifted. But no, it was really easy to mingle with students and the teachers. The teachers were really nice and friendly. I think I spent more time with teachers here on my first year in Tangaroa College rather than with other students. But for my the last 2 years, I enjoyed my time in TC. I see it as a very important time frame in my life because that's where I learned a lot about the opportunities available to us. Mm-hmm. Whereas back home, we only learn about, being a lawyer or being an accountant or a doctor. Basically, those were just the three careers that I knew from, going to school in Samoa. But when I came here, I saw a whole new, world of opportunities here. So, yeah, I'll always tell people that I went to TC, and I'm proud to say that.
Mm. No, that's awesome. Yeah, and that's the thing with young people, they're even for Samoa, but even at TC, they don't know much career pathways. They just see the lawyer, doctor, the classics, but they actually, it's massive. And you can get paid to play games now. That's how different the whole career space has gone. So not even for Samoan people, back in the islands, it's even here in TC, the students don't have a bigger range of knowledge of careers. Yeah. Were you with the teachers because you're always on detention? Or was it?
You're referring to me, bro. Oh, man. Here we start.
Tell us about your experience at TC.
Well, look, typical Otara kid coming through the line at TC, especially with a group of friends that sort of had moving up through the years, all the way from Dawson primary all the way up to TC. So not really different. And I always say this as well to when I coming to TC, and I'm speaking to our younger brothers and sisters, our students at TC, about who we are and all. Outside, coming from outside again. The experiences that our kids go through are not so different from what we went through back in the day. Like, it was always like, lunchtime and playtimes was like rugby held time on the field. Like, we're always sort of excited to just get out of the classroom so we can start running up to one another in front of the canteen. That was my normal usual experiences at TC at the time. Everyone was trying to be the sunny bill of the time, and so you would have the hardest shoulders during those moments. It was a perfect mix as well of academics. I had a few students and a few of my colleagues and students at the time in my classes that were I was really competitive with. We was looking at the likes of like Biula Kuale, who's another TC alumni that's doing really well. He's probably watching this as well, and we can definitely talk about our memories of competition. We're still doing that right now in terms of who's going to be more famous out of us. Kidding, bro. And also with Bonnie, who's now also a TC alumni that's doing really well as a teacher as well, and still in the education system. Soteria, these are big names in my years as well that sort of drew out the competition in terms of academics back at school. So that was really strong on me at the time as well, and it was really noticeable in our last year prize giving at TC in Sim. So it was a perfect mix of it was laid back, hanging out with the boys, with the mates in our corridors in C and B block, and also my mates from Samoa as well, our scholarship applicants alongside Marie as well. In my years, I spent a good amount of time with them as well. So no, my experience is not so different from all our other students that are in school right now, and yeah, so that's me really.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, bro. That's the thing there. When you grow up in Otara and you go in the Otara school, you usually go with the crowd. Was TC your first pick?
For myself?
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a talk in the family because I was about to go to Wesley College. Being a Samoan Methodist, a lot of our Wesleyan boys would, a lot of our boys at church would be heading down the line to Puke, to Wesley College, but it just came down to a decision of just staying close to home, and mum and dad's old recital that all schools are the same, it's just what you make of the opportunity. And come 2006, I was starting up at TC on my first day with Tangaroa College in Ngārongo, when they were reading out our rosters and roll for classes and tutor classes. So yeah, so that was the school I was about to go to before starting at TC.
Oh, that's cool. You picked your choice. That's cool. We'll get into this next question, eh? Oh, no, sorry. What did you want to do leaving school? So we'll go a few, Joe. So because real estate's, again, it's not one of those common pathways. Again, you were this with your career in the beginning, which I heard. But what did you want to do when you're leaving school?
Well, my goal from TC, and my old teachers at school would know this as well, because everyone was sort of planning for me to get into that career at the time, and it was definitely law. I moved out of TC and I was real passionate about that subject. And I had nothing else on my mind besides from being a lawyer, if not a lawyer, then a doctor, because luckily for Miss Folkard and Miss Maoni, I was doing really well in their classes in biology and chemistry back at high school. So my passion was in medicine as well at the time. That was basically me when I left school, and obviously in a bit of a different realm right now from when I left school.
It's still similar, right? Real estate and
still similar, yeah. So a lot of what I doing now is sort of like what I picked up from my studies at uni, in terms of contractual law, learning how to organize contracts, and learning about the conveyancing process as well, which is something that I learned big in law talks and property back at uni as well. So you pick up a lot of things along the way, and it all contributes to who you become at the end, really.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, and again, the passion is still there. It's just at the moment, it's just like, in business and entrepreneurial work and all, and learning to achieve the freedom and then being able to go back and being part of that 10 out of 10 lifestyle, which is practicing law as well. So getting back into the old career. So yeah, but that was me after I left high school, really just answering the question.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. Did you know anything about being a real estate back then? Or
Absolutely not. The idea of getting into real estate came later on when a family member reached out in terms of their sale and purchase agreement. They were purchasing a property, and they were reaching out to me to sort of help them out with their reading their contracts and all, understanding the different conditions in their contractual agreement. So it was from there that I connected with a mentor at the time to learn the ropes in terms of real estate, and it's just been no turning back ever since, really.
No, that's awesome to hear. That's what I call those transferable skills, like all those skills that you learn from doing that lawyer stuff, it is transferred into real estate.
Absolutely.
That's why they're so similar, because they're so transferable. You can go between both.
That's right.
Yeah. No, that's cool, Joe. Hey, but yourself, Marie, what did you want to do when leaving school?
I wanted to be an accountant, a chartered accountant, leaving high school. But then after, of course, participating in the Young Enterprise Scheme program, I sort of went into wanting to just discover more about the business world. And I just started to find my passion, I guess, in that area instead of just doing books and numbers. Yeah.
Small businesses that you do.
Yeah. So
Your small businesses you're running after high school.
So I after the Young Enterprise, Joe was just talk about that. So straight after high school, we formed. There was a group of us, I think 6 of us. We started a small business group called Pacific. So we created Māori and Pacific greeting cards, and so our journey of learning how to be our own boss and run your own business started from TC and now last year. So we created those cards and went and sold it at the markets, Aotearoa markets. So that was a good starting experience, I guess, and then sort of transition into different
Startups.
business ventures. Yeah. With other young Pacific entrepreneurs from other schools as well. So basically between 2013 to this year, I've just been doing, business startups and was never employed in corporate world, if you want to call it. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's a different pathway to take too, and that's actually an awesome pathway. I guess the school system is set up for employee, being an employee and stuff. So that's why I wrote down that. Yeah, I wrote down that YES program because I want to try to get that started here, just because it opens the mind to possibility and endless income if you can make it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Somehow I'm feeding back. How was your experience actually running those businesses over those years? Because it's quite hard doing a business, like being self-employed, being an entrepreneur. I've been through that, so I kind of know how it feels. But how was it?
So it was a really, I think it helped a lot with my confidence. I'm a very shy person, so I don't, just starting from school, I never really, go out or hang out with people. So I saw it as an opportunity to grow, not only in, as develop leadership skills and sales skills, all the different skills that I can use to running my own business sort of thing. I think helped a lot with building my self-esteem as well, just being confident in talking in front of people, and just not being scared to, approach people that you want to meet or, want to do business with.
Yeah.
I think the main thing I got out of that was building a thick skin to handle tough situations and running a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the main thing I got out of that.
No, that's cool. You definitely need a business, like you need a driven mindset. Don't worry what people say. You just got to go hard. And even with business, what you like, what you learn from doing those postcards or whatever cards you were doing, that transfers to the next business that you do. So you learn, that doesn't work, so we'll try something different as you go along to each businesses. Again, I've been through the struggles of business.
As long as you don't stop. Yeah.
It's been good.
Fail forward. You just keep going. If one idea doesn't work, you keep going. Like you don't stop there.
And failing forward.
Yeah, failing forward.
Yeah.
Because we have that fear coming out of high school of failing, and then sort of, okay, that's the end of it. Because during going to the end of my studies at uni, there was a lot of failure at the time, and that would have really hurt a lot of our people, because that's all we've sort of been fed with, to either achieve or not achieve, like, coming out of high school, and going into university as well. So that was the kind of lifestyle that we had to try and get out of, and to understand that we, in life, we do fail, and it's just how we go about, maneuvering around it and learning from it and moving forward. So again, failing forward is a big part of our learnings in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Since I
And that's the fastest way to learn, is to fail. Yeah, because the fastest time you fail, then I'm not going to do that again, and then you try something else. So that's why it's better to fail fast than to take your time and fail later on. So good work, man. Good on you for trying that for the last, 7 years, like doing that. I'm lucky. Your hubby was bringing in the bacon, bringing in the no, that's cool. So we heard in the beginning, but tell us again, Joe, so you left school, then you went into studying law. Was that a degree or?
Yep. So I did a conjuring degree at Auckland Uni. I did that for a good 4 years. I did conjuring in law and health sciences. So I went out of high school. Again, my passion was in medicine. Obviously, we're doing well in sciences at school, and law as well. So I sort of took two of the best of both worlds, really, and created. And there was a conjuring degree available at the time, so I did that at university. So even then, even in university, I was still juggling up, and a lot of our students a lot of ex-TC that I speak to as well, and I saw it with a lot of students that came through university as well, that even in that time, you're still juggling up what you want to do with life. There is a lot of decision making that you do throughout those years. And it's very sensitive years as well, coming out of high school, because we set a pathway, we set a direction that we want to head into, and the thing is about, and it'll be great to share this with our kids at TC, our students, is that we can prepare as much as possible, but then once we get out there into the real world, into the big world, you will see how much of life that we don't see in the safety of our classrooms, and with the security and the safety that our teachers provide us. We go out there, and that's where we actually see life, and it's the reality around it. So we can prepare as much as possible coming out of high school, but it's not the end, and it's never over until it's over. So really, that and saying that, I'm sort of saying, look, we can prepare, but be open to other options available outside our gates at TC on Helm Your Way.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Having your options available, or just having a positive mindset about those different options, because again, you were set on law and medicine. I'm going to do that for life, it may come up later on, but it was always that. But something must have happened that pushed you into that direction. But but because you had a positive mindset, it helped you still go for that. And the law might be. Is it still part of your plans, the law stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So my passion is in the future being able to say hand on heart that I can practice law and not charge legal fees for people that I help. When I was sort of having a stint in prosecution, so I did have a little feel of what solicitors go through after my law studies, when I was sort of half studying, half working at the time. So I worked with prosecutions at MSD, Ministry of Social Development. I was working with Crown solicitors at the time, getting fraud cases together. So we were working against benefit fraud. That was my sort of eye-opener into the life of a solicitor. So I had a little taste at the time, and there was nothing but negative negative feels at that moment for so much of our people, unfortunately, in that position. And at the time, I just didn't feel like law was really. I sort of asked myself, was this why I was studying? Was this why I was sort of going through that career pathway to sort of, because my idea was to help people in terms of why I wanted to go do law, and my passion is still to do that in the future. I mean, but I'd like to do that when I've achieved that 10 out of 10 lifestyle through what I do right now, which is running my real estate business, being an entrepreneur, building myself out to be able to live that abundant lifestyle and then have a passive cash flow coming in. And as that passive cash flow is coming in, I can enjoy working and doing the career that I love to do. And even now, when I go through my old law books, I get that buzz. And from that buzz, it gives a big indication that it is something that you really want to do and you're passionate about. And again, someone is really passionate to do something when they can say they can do it for free, even though they know there's a lot of hard work behind it. So that's still in the pipeline. It's still something that I'm really wanting to get back into, but later on down the track when business is sort of given the return and the entrepreneurial lifestyle is given that return right now, what we're doing.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's an awesome mindset to have, and good for the kids to listen to too. Yeah, having that. Again, you can always get to your passion, but sometimes it has to detour to set up the lifestyle so that you can do it voluntarily. Right. Like in a whatever capacity. Like, and that was my thing was that I always wanted to come back to TC. It's been a long time goal for me, but I knew I had to set up some stuff because I was going to lose money coming back. I could probably make 20,000 extra somewhere else. But I knew coming back, I'm going to lose money, but it's more the passion and like I set up my lifestyle to in a good place that I can be able to come back and, don't worry about the money too much. Not that I'm rich or anything, but again, I'm fortunate to, have some of those good financial habits and have a business on the side that's making a little bit of money while we're sitting here, stuff like that. So, I commend you for what you're doing and your plans. And it's cool that you still got that passion to help people. Awesome stuff.
Probably the last thing just to add on to that as well, Matua, for kids, our students back at TC, it's about the other half that you would meet as well eventually down the line. And this is where I sort of talk about Marie. Marie, like she said earlier, was never in that employment perspective. So when we caught up, when we first started having a relationship, she was on a different pathway. What I was real hardcore in the corporate ladder. I was making my way up, and she was never employed. So I'd always go to work, do my 9 to 5, and I'd always question what Marie was doing. And she'll be out and speaking to clients and or speaking to business partners, going out to meet suppliers and all that sort. And it's events like that that also frame your kind of lifestyle moving forward. Your association, that's the big word as well that we would like to use. Association and who you choose to work with, surround yourself with after high school as you're going through life. So for students out there, look, you can plan as well, but then your plans will also be affected by who you're associated with after high school. For example, Marie and myself, how she was in business, I was in corporate, and then suddenly now we're both in real estate business. So that's the kind of ways that life can sort of affect and impact your decisions as well after leaving TC.
Yeah. Finding the right partner. Yeah.
Sure.
Actually helps, like, you know, like having the right partner. Like my wife's a go-getter, and man, she's amazing. And like, she works from home as well. And sometimes I come in, what you been doing? But she's been doing a massive list of stuff. So yeah, I don't question her anymore. Hey, cool. Hey, talk about what you guys are doing now with the real estate and the hardcore and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. So in our business, we both have different roles in how we function in our business. So I'm obviously the loud one. So I'm sort of out there meeting clients and all, and talking and bringing in the good vibes when it comes to showing property. So as a real estate agent, you do three main things actually. Just before I go into our different roles, it's selling homes. So we have licenses to be able to sell people's properties anywhere in New Zealand. And the second role we can do is we help people buy properties as well. So the selling and the purchasing sides of the transaction. The third part of what we do as real estate agents is marketing and looking after marketing of our vendors' properties. Vendor meaning the owner of the properties that we're selling for. So those are the three big aspects of what we do. And just the fourth aspect for agents that specialize in that field is project marketing. So that's when we deal with big developments. So for all our students back at TC, for myself and Marie, we are part of a project marketing team. We sell multi-million-dollar developments all over New Zealand, from up in Albany down to Queenstown in the South Island. We deal with apartment and hotel development, so it's multiple properties, not just the one standing home that you'll find in normal everyday real estate. So that's sort of what we do. In terms of our roles, I'm out there with the selling and talking to clients and being able to close deals. So I negotiate the deal right from when they put the initial offer forward. I work with the negotiation stage between both the purchaser and the owner of the property. I get the contracts written up and all, and I'm on the day when they choose to purchase the property and we've done the deal, execute that agreement as well. So that's my side of the business. Would you like to talk about your side of the business and what we do?
Yeah, and I look after the admin side and marketing of all the houses that we're selling, basically. Pretty much the operations behind the scene. And Joe's the face of what we do.
Yeah, and that's for now until Marie also is in the process of getting licensed also. So she'll be able to take on board some of the work I do as well.
Oh yeah, that's cool. And you need both sides of the tail, eh? Like you can't be just the front doing be cool, sign up everyone. You need the admin at the back doing that, because that's massive.
That's the most important role, man. You know, with any business, if your paperwork is not done right, then the business will fall over. So Marie's really been the backbone of our business in terms of that, and been really supportive in relation to that side of the business. So it's all good looking up there in the front and all the cameras are on you and you're getting filmed and all showing whatever. But if you don't get the marketing and you don't get the admin side sort of behind the scenes, then that won't happen.
Yeah. That's powerful, guys. Like as a couple to do that, you know. Sometimes it's a bit hard. Me and my wife are like, "Hey, what's up with that? You do this, but hey, you just."
Yeah, we have those moments.
And that's natural for a business, say, like especially with your partner, your wife is, as a partner. So, no, but commend you guys. Hey, since you guys talking about real estate, how do you become a real estate agent? Especially say agent. Yeah,
so there's two ways you can go through to becoming a licensed real estate agent. You can go through a skills program. So skills organization have a course ready for that. The name of the qualification is a certificate in real estate licensed salesperson. That's a level 4 program as well. So obviously the requirements is that you must have your UE because you're going to a tertiary institution, and you must have achieved level 2 and level 3 to be able to do your level 4 paper. papers, and it's a 2-month or 3-month long program that you can do at skills. Up to 6 months actually is the longest you can take to have the go through the papers. So you have 13 papers. You got to knuckle down in that 6 months. You can choose to do it through skills, or you can do it through Unitech at Point Chevalier. If you're in Auckland. So for students out there that are looking to get into real estate, those are the two options you can look at. You can either look at doing it online with skills, which will be pretty easy. You can do it from home. You can study from home, or you could go to Point Chevalier and enroll Unitech and enroll in a course there.
No, that's cool. Yeah, no, it's a viable pathway. It's commission based, so you kind of have to work hard. It's just like owning a business. You have to work hard to get the result. It's not, it's a 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week type of job.
Yeah.
You're always on call, and you have to be available at those times. But the perks are great.
Gotta work hard for it.
I mean, look, our average commissions can sit anywhere from 10,000 one-off in terms of income. Our biggest sale, which is a $1.6 million property, a new market, we're looking at approximately $20,000 of gross income from that as well. So that's the kind of money that you'll be able to get from one deal. And obviously, if you times that by 10 properties you sell in a year, you've got yourself $100,000 in gross income coming into your bank account straight from your work. So that's the kind of money you can get and kind of revenue you can get from this business. But like I said, it's and like you mentioned earlier, Mato, it's not easy. There is a lot of work involved to get towards that payment of commission later on at the end of the transaction. But look, possibilities are endless in this industry, and we're dealing in multi-million-dollar developments. So we're selling on average 100 or so units in one development. So that's commissions of based on one unit that we're selling. What if we were to sell 100 or 100 of the units? That's the entrepreneurial lifestyle and the passion behind doing what we're doing right now. In terms of we're enjoying the whole process from the deal all the way to the end, and at the same time at the end as well, when you have a happy client and you have a happy purchaser as well that's happily invested or purchased that unit. So the possibilities are endless in this career.
Yeah, definitely. Carl, who works for Skills.
Yeah, Carl from Gold Skills Organisation. Yep. So you can go onto that link to register and have a look over the information in terms of the course and how you can enroll in that course as well.
Yeah. Part of the real estate stuff is the confidence, and talking to people in customer service. I think it's natural for our TC students to be charmers. They're very
absolutely. I have to say that's so true.
Type personality, so they get along with a lot of people. Our TC students, I think they struggle with the confidence to keep that. Outside of school, bro, they're charming all the teachers. Oh, Miss Schofield, they're doing that. I'm hoping that they carry that outside of schooling.
And that's exactly correct. I mean, look, we're a very vibrant community, and it's part of our culture at TC. We every time we have prize givings, our band is always on top of things, and even our students are stepping up as well to do things and participate and serve during those days. And these are really important days. And even when guests come over, to come in and come into school, our students are always right there at the front, welcoming our guests over. So it's all part of what we do, and it's all part of our family culture at TC. So you are right. We do come out of TC with a lot of vibrance and confidence in what we do. It's just again, it's life skills that come in to sort of polish it, and then hones in your skills of communicating and being able to channel your energy to be able to get an idea across. Yeah, especially in sales, like Marie through her small businesses coming through, and through myself through corporate work. I mean, we dealt with a lot of clients, and we dealt with a lot of customer service roles as well. So again, it was learning how to bring that energy and then learning how to convey that across to customers that come through. But also I'd like to acknowledge at this time Ms. Wamina as well and her team of English, because a lot of our speech courses and all, and a lot of our essay writing and learning how to spell those big words and say those big words, even though it doesn't fit in the sentence, really helps out with in terms of us moving forward and also collating that with life skills that you achieve later on. So yeah.
That's true. Good on Mr. Famuna for doing that, because unless you make the conversation normal, it won't be normal for the kids. That's why they leave here and then they don't know how to talk in that realm, which is different. Because they're talking like it's just a different type of communication within school. But when you leave school and then you start talking to corporates, then
absolutely. Well, even at university, bro, when we go university, see all these see all these Pākehā, all these different cultures, and especially when you see a smart lecturer or something, or smart student next to you, you start putting on put on the try hard Central Auckland accent, but really you're from South Auckland. You start bringing out your normal accent again. I remember back in high school. Or you can just be yourself and bring in the best of the both worlds. So if you can speak good English with big words and Southern accent, then you're in a good space.
We know some people. Robert Ali. I got up to this guy, Joe. He used to get bullied at school, man, but look where he is right now.
It's got all being a very cheeky bugger. Yeah, so in high school, I was actually a lot smaller than I am right now, so no one else would try to bully me at the moment.
I look at you now. Big twist.
Yeah,
I see this gym, man. Looking good, bro. Keep going, man.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
Hey, last question. Thank you, guys. What are your life hacks or wisdom drops for students going into the world of life, so the real world? We'll start with it.
Yeah, you go, Murray.
Oh, Murray, up to you.
Oh, sorry, with me. Oh, okay. Probably a big one for me is again just having that abundant mentality, just being abundant in your worldview, and do not be constrained to our small border in Otara. For myself, when I came out of Otara and started getting into venturing at university and going through tertiary studies, and a lot of our students will be going through that in terms of how big the world is. And then when you start getting to Queen Street and all, you start seeing all these big places in Central Auckland, Sky Tower, then you can also have a sway away from your pathway as well during that time, because it's such a brand new experience for you, especially when we're coming from TC, such a humble place in Auckland. We don't see much in our areas, besides from what we usually see, what happens at TC and in a small world of Otara. But just being abundant in terms of how we see the world. Do not pressure yourself and stress out about what life has got in store for you. That would happen when you get out there and you start living life and you start experiencing the world for what it is. I found that in my time at TC, I was head down on my books, learning and preparing to get into law studies at uni. Eventually, that's not the pathway that I'm on right now, but I became open to other avenues of work and life. And I like to share that as well with our students at TC. Be open, be aware of what's available for you out there, and do not sort of pressure yourself at this stage. Plan, but also be aware that your plans won't may not be where you'd like to be at the end, and just be open and available to that.
Yo, that's awesome, Joe. Marie?
I think maybe surround yourself with the right people. Like that really, I know there's a saying where you're the average of the 5 people that you spend your time with. That's very, very true. Like, put that in the bank. You have to surround yourself with the right people. If you're the smartest person in that group or your group of friends, then you're in the wrong crowd. Like, you have to get, get around people who are driven, passionate about what they do, the right stuff. Not spending time, wasting time, I don't know, going out and, not knowing where they're heading in life. And also, I think this is this might be a bit hard to bring up. I know we tend to think that our career options are based on what mum and dad tells us to do. I know that's a big one, but really, I think we still have to have that conversation in our families to let the kids choose what they want to do in their life. Because then they'll be more happy and driven to go after those goals, and at the end the family will be happy with that. Just not letting everyone else opinions, whether it be family or friends, drive what you want to do. Like, just really focusing on what you want to do and setting a plan and then going after that. Like, don't factor in other people's opinion of what you want to do, basically.
Yeah.
That's big. Like, your friends might tell you, oh, we should go be, I don't know, become a lawyer or like accountant, or mom might say, oh, you would really do well in, in law, or like, just listening to other people. I know that's a really hard subject in our Pacific communities. But yeah, just if you set your mind to what you want to do, then just follow that. Don't listen to anyone else, basically.
It's considering the fact that we don't sort of look down at the education system and how it works in terms of degrees, and we need our educated individuals out there. We're needing these degrees and we're needing these pathways available so we can have a stable society. It's just being open and aware to another side of what life has in store for us. Like, we don't have to be confined to an employment kind of sector of work, which is the result of education and going through the education system. There is an opportunity as well for us to, like you said earlier, Matua, like, people are creating games now and people are getting paid and making skills around, like, trying out and creating a business around the gaming world, which would really be an open aspect for a lot of our Fortnite players that are now coming out through the younger ages and all, and also punching, and also there's a lot of ideas, and there's a lot of things that opportunities out there that our students need to be aware of, and we know that you're in a position right now, Matua, to be able to direct our students into those pathways and be open to it. Just don't be confined and closed-minded, in terms of where you want to head in the future.
And just to clarify as well, like, I don't mean to say don't listen to your parents. Like, that's number one, obey, but there's a conversation where it comes to, some parents push their kids to do what they want for their kids instead of what the kids want to do for themselves. So just clarifying on that. Don't want kids to get in trouble. But yeah, just it's really important to get that clarity between the kids and parents.
Yeah, I was going to raise that point, and that's an awesome point because our Pacific kids, they go through that. I think it's an old mentality, university degree, make more money. That's not true. It used to be true, but it's not true. Like, can make you the surplus of income, so it doesn't matter now. How do kids talk to their parents, or should the kids talk to their parents about that stuff?
It's going to be a hard conversation, but we need to have those conversations without, like, just be open about it. I know some families might not be, there's always that one-way communication where we just listen to what we are told instead of having the two-way conversation. But just have a conversation with mum and dad, say, like, look, this is what I want to do. I'd really appreciate it if you support what I'm wanting to do. And if what your mom and dad are telling you to do is something that you want to do, then that's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
But I think being transparent with that instead of just hiding your feelings and not being honest with your parents about what you're wanting to do, because then if you let that go for a very long time and then down the road you might resent them instead of, it could really could get ugly, but just be honest upfront and have an honest communication with your parents about that. I know it can be hard, but you have to get it out. Like,
Yeah.
Then they're your parents anyway. Like, you gotta, and they might give you some, what do you call it? What's the word? They might give you some advice on how to get there, because they have more life experience than you. So just being transparent and having the conversation with them as number one.
I mean, probably just understanding that our parents mean well. They want you to succeed. Their perception of success would be different from how we are right now in terms of this new world that we're in. But they mean well. They want you guys to succeed. So when you're in talks with mum and dad at home, like, you're sitting down and you're going through your course selective papers for university, and you're thinking along that pathway, okay, look, this is how much credits I need from NCA to achieve this course. Be open to mum and dad as well, because mum and dad will be giving you their perception of what success is. But if you're open to them, as Marie has said, they would understand. They love you. They're your whānau, they're your family, they're your āhinga, and they will understand that if it means that you will achieve a great future in the long run, they would support fully what you're doing, even though they won't understand as much, because the perception of success at that time was to get a good degree, get a good job, and then work until 65 or something, and retire with your own home and all, and you're mortgage free at the time. It's just now there's a different perception now of what success is from different entrepreneurs now in this lifetime, and we just got to be open and understanding of that, both in the student's perspective and with their parents' perspective as well.
Yeah,
I understand.
Even asking the parents, but because again, it might be that old mentality that we're talking about. Money equals success, but it doesn't. Like, I think any person that finds their passion, man, they're the most successful person in my eyes.
Absolutely.
Money will follow them. It may not. It might be just they're just giving off their time and whatever. But to find your passion is probably one of the ultimate
better success, and it's not always going to be about money. I mean, we're not doing this out of money, and we understand that that's the byproduct of what we do. But at the end of the day, it's just that buzz that you get from helping others, helping a first home buyer, helping someone get into their first home, and seeing the smile on their faces, and just the relief after such a long process. And also for our investors who are first-time investors, you own a property in Otara, but then they're looking to build their real estate portfolio. Look, again, old mentality. We're not used to understanding how we go through the second property, and being in a position to be able to help and advise and consult with market dynamics. These are parts of our service, and that's the real buzz behind what we do. And again, success is in that regard, not the money that we get afterwards. It's just the byproduct of what we do. So good to understand it as well. So study not to get money, that good job at the end, which will give you the good salary and give you the good wages. But study and be aware that you're wanting to get into a life that you enjoy and you're passionate about.
Hey, man, it's coming up to 1 hour. Awesome, guys. That was an awesome chat. Honestly,
Yeah,
like,
right.
passion
Before we make it to 1 hour.
man, even me, I was like, man, we didn't even add in photos and stuff in the beginning, but man, you guys have brought up some good, awesome points that our kids needed to listen to. Hey, you know, like even those life hacks are like what the kids need as well. But you guys brought up some awesome, amazing points, and you guys are doing an awesome job. Thank you for being on this podcast and sharing your experiences. And you know, your guys, your driven, passionate, abundant mindset. It's you know, it's quite inspiring, which is awesome, man. Keep up the awesome work. I know you got a board of trustees meeting soon, so this was like,
Yep, I gotta get ready for that.
yeah, you guys are awesome. Hey, if anyone's selling their house or you wanted to buy a house, hit up Joe and Marie. They're happy and willing to do that stuff. Hey, is that true?
Yep,
Yeah.
well, good. We'll help you out. Cheers. And it's all about helping our community as well. So we're all about it. So let us know if you guys need help in that regard also.
Yeah, 1% commission. No.
Referral.
It was a byproduct though.
To our CC students, man, be inspired. Keep listening to others. You can learn from all of us, our years of experience, and hopefully you learn something. So from me and Joe Marie, thank you guys.
Cheers. Thanks guys. Thanks, Katoa. See you later.